The realization of that goal that he says will unlock the potential of all high-impact sectors of the economy. President Boko this morning hosted the Executive Director of World Bank Africa Group 1, Dr. Zarue Kibwe, who concurred with the President that Botswana must undergo structural transformation if it is to deliver the people out of poverty and create jobs. Kifile Mukautsani reports.
Just a few weeks after the 2025 World Bank and International Monetary Fund spring meetings in Washington, D.C., the Executive Director of the World Bank Africa Group 1 category, Dr. Kibwe, is in the country to engage with the leadership on the future relations of Botswana and this development financing institution. His timing coincides with the end of the World Bank partnership framework with Botswana and the planning stage of a new one. President Boko says this time, Botswana is looking for high-impact interventions needed to completely transform this country within his 3-year timeline.
And there are certain pivot points. The key one is digitization of the economy, in our view. A lot of the economic setback arises from pure wastage in the economy, not even corruption, which is a factor. But there's a substantial chunk of our resources that goes down the drain on account of wastage, inefficiency. And so if we pivoted on technology, we would curb a lot of the wastage.
According to the 2025 World Bank report, Botswana's economic growth has slowed down in recent decades and is still reliant on mineral revenues, while poverty and inequality remain very high. President Boko says this current reality does not resonate with the principles of his human rights-anchored government.
Poverty is a violation of the fundamental rights of our people. We acknowledge this, that by keeping them in some of the conditions in which they exist, conditions of subhuman existence, we are violating their rights. We face up to this honestly. We acknowledge it so that we can confront it. We therefore must ensure that we create an economy, an environment that works for them.
Even as he settles in office, Dr. Kibwe has already identified areas in which the World Bank can partner with Botswana on.
We need to change how the economy of Botswana is composed. So there was a very strong echoes from all the parties that we met, be it private sector or public governments, on the need for structural transformation of the Botswana economy.
The 2025 World Bank and International Monetary Fund spring meetings focused on job creation and the importance of a strong private sector to drive sustainable and resilient growth. The meetings also addressed issues like debt relief and climate change, all of which pivot towards Botswana's current interests as well. Kifile Mukautsani, Btv-News, Gaborone.
And our public servants have been urged to carry out their duties diligently to ensure service delivery. When addressing public servants in Sabon yesterday, President Advocate Duma Boko noted that he is fully aware of the challenges they face, further stating that government has set a 3-year timeline to resolve them. Komiso Mapanyani reports.
Post-general election, government committed itself to turn around the fortunes of this country by utilizing technology in government services. Despite challenges within civil service that impacts on their delivery of work, President Boko has assured these officers that this challenge will come to an end as they have committed to solve everything in a space of no time. He appealed to them to always remain exemplary in their day-to-day duties. Some shared that government must move with speed to bring solution to challenges that sometimes affect service delivery.
Together as one, ake local government, ake central government, ake parastatal, se ra gore re khone dilo tse dintsi tse di amang matshelo a banni ba kgaolo ya rona. We operate with agility, guided by the vision ya lehatshe la rona la Botswana.
Keletso ya rona e se gore gompieno re tega re tle go nna eketire di video go lwa re le keletso ya rona e le gore e re ga re tagayana re tere go gapollege gore re nya jaanong ga re batla gore our policies and laws di change-we jaana ka gore re dumela gore go re tswang teng ne re le mmogo
re tshwanetse ne re hele re welana gore ne re eletsa gore tota gore re ka gore ha re le teng re tshwanetse re go lebeletse boammaaruri jo bo re aparetseng jo bo ka supegang go tshwanetse go nne le bosupi ja gore re ga kae go iragalang re sa bopoletse ke gone mo go tlhokagalang gore re nne le accurate data gore sepe se re se dirang se mo sireletse mo gore re tlhaloganya sentle.
President Boko assured these officers in Tsabon that government will do all it can to deliver on its promise in a space of 3 years. Kumiso Mapanyani, Btv-News, Tsabon.
Over 400 asylum seekers who were rejected by authorities will be transferred to Duki refugee camp. The asylum seekers have been under detention at Francistown Center for Illegal Immigrants and will be relocated within a space of 2 weeks to a month from now. The Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Nelson BTW-News, made the announcement on Monday in Francistown and Duki. Terry Makweng and Betani Mando compiled this one.
Scores of refugees from Namibia, DRC and Somalia who refused voluntary repatriation to their home countries 4 years ago were detained in Francistown Center for Illegal Immigrants. Despite being detained here, no charges were laid upon them even though they were treated like prisoners. This is said to have affected some of the families in the long run. Following their appeal, government has now decided to set them free.
When we use the word illegal immigrant center, one may think it's just people that are kept there on transit, while in actual fact, it is a prison. The conditions and rules and laws that apply to this center are those for prisoners. And kids are separated from their master if they are male, and they're under the custody of male fathers, and those without fathers, they will be under the custody of men that they don't relate to. No. And girls also are under the care of their mothers. Some who only have fathers are under the care of women that they don't relate to. In the bringing of children, they ought to have their parents molding them in the manner in which they would want their children to learn and customize their traditions, culture, and mores.
With tears of joy and emotions all over their faces, those affected could not hide their excitement.
Human rights that you have mentioned, we understand it. It's not a talk, it's an action. As foreigners, we can witness it.
Minister BTW-News also made the announcement at Duki refugee camp, adding that there should be no reason for the refugees to be separated from their fellow asylum seekers.
To a human-centric government. That is, we strive to promote and encourage human rights as core objective. It is against this background that I have come to inform you that the government has taken a decision to release the rejected asylum seekers at the Francistown Center. Yes, I was saying you have your own compatriots that are held at Francistown Center for Illegal Immigrants that we are going to release to come back to Duki camp.
Refugees in Duki also shared their views.
So I think the better way to help us is not issuing us food, but helping us how to make that food by ourselves. We have arable land, we have small projects that we can undergo, so why can't we be given seeds, fertilizers, and try to make our own food?
Chinese proverb says, teach a man how to catch fish, not to give man a ready-made fish. I can't agree with you more on that one. Again, the country is suffering from food insufficiency, and your words are indeed encouraging.
Government has adopted the principle of voluntary repatriation and will not force involuntary repatriation, and those seeking asylum will be listened to, and where possible it will be granted. Terry Makhoeng, BTV News, Francistown.
Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC, has begun interrogating government spending for the period 2021-2022. The chairman of the committee and member of parliament for Bubirwa, Mr. Taulo Lucas, says that work comes at a time when government's coffers are strained, adding that they have to ensure that if there was any wastage, offending ministries and departments be held accountable. He shared this on the sidelines of the opening of the PAC session in Gaborone on Monday. Solofelo Tombale with more.
Parliament began its oversight duty yesterday, looking at government spending decisions. As a form of a watchdog, this team will have to move with speed, especially that government coffers are at a record low. We are looking at government's account books to review whether state money has been properly used by ministries. We do this at a time when there is a new government, so we also want to check if there have been changes in these ministries that align with the government's priorities. This team showed disappointment at having to look at government books that date back to 2022.
We're actually doing a review for the year 2021-2022, which, according to me, it's a bit of a disappointment because it means we are 3 years back. But during that time, there was a lot of expenditure on the development side. Especially there were mega projects that were financed. So my interest is to see where did the money go to the projects, because you will recall most of the projects are still not completed just as yet.
My real interest is in DIS and the Office of the President. There are various issues, as you know, which the public wants to know answers for. Typical example is the Tautuna Lodge.
The highlight was when the Director General of the Directorate on Intelligence and Security faced the committee to explain the procurement of Tautuna Lodge.
The reason why we acquired that land, we needed it for the operational purpose of the state security. As a state security, the operations are not unclassified, they are not out in the open. What we do in that area, say, is for the benefit of the organization. Having the lodge in there was an added advantage, which was still required for operational purpose.
By the end of the day, the PAC indicated that they are pleased thus far with the level of cooperation they have received from government and expressed their hope that it will continue over the weeks of work. Solofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Thank you for staying with us here on BTV News. Now, according to the latest World Health Organization reports, road traffic accidents are a leading cause of death, injuries, and disability of people aged between 5 and 29 years in the world. This was said by the Assistant Minister of Transport and Infrastructure at the launch of the 8th UN Global Road Safety Week in Gaborone. Rachel Sibinyane with more.
According to World Health Organization report, 1.2 million people are killed and 50 million are injured each year due to road traffic accidents. This has called for an urgent intervention since these accidents cripple the economy.
In Botswana, we have observed a devastating impact of road traffic accidents in the economy, health services, families and communities. These tragedies are not only merely numbers. They represent our loved ones, our family members, our neighbors, our colleagues.
Data globally also shows that the road crashes cost countries about 3% of their GDP. These costs are felt across the economy through hospitalization, outpatient care, rehabilitation, insurance cover, job losses, reduced productivity, damaged infrastructure, and other social costs, including death.
In an effort to curb this, the Assistant Minister in the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, Mr. Akiwahila Atamelang, says government is committed to improving road safety through multifaceted approach.
Several interventions have been put in place in the achievement of the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety Global Plan, including strengthening the legislation. This includes continuous review and updates of traffic laws, targeted public awareness and educational campaigns such as these. These are school outreach, donkey cart visibilities. In terms of infrastructure development, investing in road infrastructure to ensure that our roads are safe and well maintained through construction of pedestrian walkways, street lights, and improved signage.
To ensure roads are safer in order to reduce accidents, it has been shared that there will be a series of activities across the country to raise awareness about road safety. Rachel Sibinyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Gumare police have raised concern about the rising number of house and shops break-ins in the village. The authorities are currently investigating an incident whereby 4 men broke into 6 houses and stole goods valued at over 15,000 pula. Tiny Tsukudu with the report.
Assistant Superintendent Sabata says they launched an operation that led to the arrest of 4 men aged between 17 and 45 years in possession of the stolen goods. House break-ins are a concern in Gumare. So far, 28 cases have been recorded since December 2024 to April 2025.
Rena ra ithela ile gore mantlo ali marataro a amega mo Gumare. Ntu yenngwe
6 houses were affected in Gumare. 2 of them are institutional houses, whereas 2 are public residentials. We investigated these men, and 2 were brought before court, where they were apprehended awaiting their trial. The other 2 are minors, and their cases have been referred to be considered by the social workers.
Ko baneng ba ithabatsegediwa gore ba tata ba itshupa gape le ga lekgotla ba le babedi ba dingwaga tse 17 re isitse dikgang tsa teng ko bo mmaboipelego.
Residents have been urged to join neighborhood watch clusters to help combat crime in their areas.
Re ka gakolola banni ba mo Gumare gore ya ka rena le makala na bontibela ke go lebele.
We are advising Gumare residents to join Neighborhood Watch to help combat crime. All the business individuals are advised to hire the security guards to take care of their properties.
Bone ka ba gakolola gore a ba hire batho ba ba ka thusang go thokomela madirelo a bone.
In other issues, police are investigating an issue in which an 80-year-old Standard 4 people died on the spot after being hit by a car. Tiny Tsukudu, BTV News, Gumare.
On the international front now, extreme weather and climate change impacts are hitting every aspect of socio-economic development in Africa, worsening hunger, insecurity and displacement. According to the report by the United Nations, Africa is approximately 0.86 degrees Celsius hotter, with North Africa being the most affected.
The year 2024 is reported to have been the hottest year on record, and these warm temperatures are said to have intensified challenges such as water scarcity, food insecurity, and ecosystem stress. According to a report by the World Meteorological Organization, 2024 also had a series of extreme weather events across Africa which impacted it greatly. The 2023 El Nino effect, which extended into 2024, played a major role in the extreme weather patterns observed in 2024. The Southern African region was particularly affected by severe drought, with several declaring the drought a national disaster, including Zambia and Malawi. The drought is reported to have affected agriculture and led to significant food insecurity. Financial challenges in Africa are said to be greatly affecting progress in tackling climate change. Costs associated with climate change in African countries is reported to reach up to 5% of their gross domestic product. Launa Lehwale, Btv-News.
Up next, your sports with Jose Ronque.
Let me thank you, Benson, and good evening. This is Jose Ronque bringing to you the BOTSWANA Tonight Sports News, and with that, let's get straight into it. National Under-17 girls soccer team recorded their first win at the ongoing 2025 COSAFA Under-17 Girls Championship as they comfortably beat Zimbabwe at the Hage Geingob Stadium and in Windhoek, Namibia yesterday. Hope Lesotho netted a brace for Botswana before Horata Khotle added the third to secure maximum points, which has placed the local side on the second position of Group C with 3 points. Botswana lost 1-0 to Lesotho in their first game on Sunday. Local girls will know whether they progress with the tournament or not tomorrow after Zimbabwe-Lesotho final group game. Moving on, with only 3 games to the end of the 2024-2025 FNB Premiership season, Gaborone United head coach Dimitar Pantev says it is important to ensure that they continue winning in order to stay on course to be crowned champions this season. Pantev was speaking during that training session as they prepare to host Matabele FC in a league match scheduled for Wednesday. Karaso Molelokwa has the details.
Gaborone United, who are top of the log standings with 57 points from 17 wins, 4 losses and 6 draws, are one of the league's high-scoring teams, having scored 47 goals and conceding 21. In their last Premier League match, GU defeated Nico United 3-0.
We have just few matches to the end of the season, just 3 matches. Most important match is the next match. Now we're looking for our next opponent on Wednesday for Matabele. And I hope and I'm sure that we can get our 3 points. 3 matches are like finals for us. I'm very happy that players show me professional attitude. Now for us in this difficult fixture is most important to keep them fresh. All of them are available. Psychologically we're ready, physically we're ready, we have our tactical plan and we're going to win these 3 points.
Meanwhile, Vietnam Galaxy interim coach Simon Patane said as the defenders champions, they will do their utmost to ensure that they maintain the consistency to continue doing well. So far, Galaxy are sitting on position 2 with 57 points, having won 15 games, drawn 12, and are the only team not to have registered a defeat this season. Galaxy host Championship Rollers on Wednesday in Johanning.
Past couple of weeks, we've posted a couple of good results, which sees us here on the same number of points with GU and 2 points from Tafik. But it's tough competition, and tomorrow we are playing against Township Rollers, which is arguably one of the biggest teams in Botswana. So it's going to be a very interesting game, but very tough at the same time. We know that the Rollers are a bit fresher than us. They have 1.5 weeks without any action, without any game. We just came from a game against Sua, but we don't have any excuse. No, these are no times for excuses. We have to go all out and do our best to get the win, because where we are at the moment, only wins are needed.
In other Week 28 matches, Extension Gunners host BDF 11 at the National Stadium. Nico United take on VTM at Samson Stadium, while the relegated Joe of Chadibe FC and Flamingo Santos meet at the Albert Itani Stadium. Third place Tafik will host Murupuli Wanderers at Old Frankstown Stadium, while SWA Flamingos take on Orapa United at SWA Town Council Stadium. All matches are expected to start at 3 p.m. Kagiso Morelekwa, BTV News, Gaborone.
Still in the FNB Premiership, the race for the top goal scorer award is heating up. Thero Sicily of Joran Galaxy is currently the top leading goal scorer with 13 goals. John Rambo of Traffic FC and Tataona Kamanyani of Gaborone United follows with 10 goals each. SWA Flamingos Sarate Samadi has netted 9 goals, while Swaname Boy of Township Rollers and Kelvin Ndebele of Morupule Wanderers are tied at 8 goals each. That is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. Now let's give you a reminder of the headlines.
Government appeals for support from the World Bank to accelerate digital transformation. Over 400 rejected asylum seekers to be transferred to Dukwi refugees.
And in sports, the national under-17 girls soccer team records a first win at the ongoing 2025 COSAFA Under-17 Girls Championship.
Thank you for tuning in. Your weather up next.